Okay, so like 5 hours later.
Yeah. Or drawing orders of battle is really boring,
Yeah,
folks.
basically we skipped a little bit here because
drinks were had.
Drinks were had. It's really annoying to like discuss and draw orders of battle and also be like, oh, we've got to be entertaining for the viewers at the same time.
Well, I mean, in the end, what would it take? It taken
So,
like 2 hours of
yeah.
being entertaining. It's like, so
We're just gonna cut out like
how's
the
your
last.
mom?
Yeah, we're gonna cut out like the last 25 something minutes of recording because it was really just us getting ready for everything. But we'll go through. There was a scuffle in the Reichstag over what to do about the Soviet front, and the faction that believed we should pull troops off of the Soviet front to the French front and let the Ukrainians handle the Soviets if they should decide to join the war has won out.
I still don't think that the Soviet Union's as much of a threat to join the war as you think they are.
DM was able to convince me that our allies can handle anything that goes on over here.
My biggest reasoning, the Soviet is not a part of the Internationale. They're not allied with our enemies. Second, they got that coming off
They
of
don't hate us that bad, honestly.
Yeah. And they've got that coming off of a Civil War debuff, which is actually one of the worst debuffs you can have in the game, isn't it?
I thought they were still fighting Siberia, but they have lost a lot of stuff to Siberian independence. And we also have a focus to...
They're just not as dangerous as they are in vanilla.
Right. We have a focus to get the Don Kuban Union into our faction, too, so...
And I mean, you got to look at it too in terms of like that debuff, that coming off of a Civil War debuff. It's actually significant. It's extrememely damaging.
So, we've set up our Air Force. Lessons of the Weltkrieg here. In this universe, it turned out that trench warfare actually works. And since we went with Grand Battle Plan, we're actually going to, for the most part, hold the line here. We're
going to let them come. They've declared war. We're going to let them come get it.
We're going to let them burn off their planned preparation bonus while we build up our superior planned preparation bonus, and our entrenchment will protect us during that time, as well as the Luftwaffe, which I believe is quite a bit larger than their Air Force, before we launch this counterattack.
Yeah, we're going to let them take some lumps first. And what that will allow us to do is, now that we know we've got Soviet troops reinforcing both fronts, we can throw some haymakers at little brother Netherlands over here.
So, Modal is going to basically blitz straight for Amsterdam. We're going to be doing a lot of micromanaging and a lot of narrating.
Because this war needs to end quick. The campaign against the Netherlands needs to end quickly.
Along this front. And then these guys are sort of going to become... Once they conquer the Netherlands, they're sort of going to become our channel defense force.
Because Britain's going to try some shit.
Because we've been... I mean, we don't have great intelligence on the British Navy, but we probably don't want to stand up fight with them in the Channel right now.
Doubt it. So, doubt that would go the way we wanted it to go.
So we want to just try to protect the Baltic and then rely on our ground forces
to fight off any amphibious landings.
Amphibious landings elsewhere. So
our army, now that you account the troops we had stationed on the Soviet front, we have a larger army than those allied against us. Another reason why I argued that it wasn't a good idea for nearly a third of our military to be absent from the theater of action.
Then we are going to send Rommel and 24 divisions of armor and motorized to try to sweep across Dunkirk and Calais to take Le Havre and Rouen, and possibly sweep down into Paris if they are successful. These are some pretty big stacks here, but a lot of them are crap troops, like they have mountaineers fighting in coastal plains, which is not going to help them. And also their fortification level is still only 1.
And what that'll help is, even if Rommel isn't really able to penetrate, those up there up north are some of the biggest stacks in the entire French front. It pins them, right? It pins them dealing with a highly mobile motorized force. We don't want them to be able, that's 20 plus divisions. We do not want them to be able to diffuse that across the front more intelligently. The biggest tactical weakness I can see from the French right here is they've spread their army unevenly. There are areas of ridiculous strength, like there, you just pointed out up north, even though the troop quality isn't the best. Mm-hmm. And then there are areas of questionable weakness. What we want to do is we want to prevent them from being able to easily remedy that by having at least one offensive going. Because if he pulls 10 divisions off of that stack, Rommel's going to penetrate, and now France is in trouble. Right. So by keeping 20, 30 divisions pinned down up north, I am reasonably confident what is left of the French military will not be able to penetrate our entrenchment. They need those numbers, and Rommel's not going to let them use it.
Right.
Which I like.
So Rommel's not going to launch his offensive right away, because obviously he needs to get in position. He needs to get his preparation up as high as he can on some of his fresher units. So the other thing that will allow is once we have taken the Netherlands, we can move our air forces who are currently focused on the Benelux to focus on northern France.
And I doubt we use every division we're going to attack the Netherlands with as a coastal defense force. Some of those divisions will be redeployed. Not many, but some. And that'll help.
And, yeah, I don't think we're really... Yeah, we're not in danger in any of our colonies at this point. I mean, if...
In fact, we could probably pay a little attention to how they might be able to help us as this unfolds, because our colonies are safe. So how are they going to contribute?
I don't mind if we lose Malta to the International. We can worry about the Mediterranean later, honestly, and they don't have much ability to project power. I'm curious what the socialist Italian Navy looks like. Oh, it's pathetic.
Yeah, pitiful.
We could crush them.
What does the French Navy look like, out of curiosity?
They are...
Because now we're talking about Navy. That we almost forgot.
So France and Britain together outnumber our Navy. That's why I kind of want to keep them in the Baltic and not... not go for a stand-up fight just yet.
Well, ultimately, air superiority of the water over the water is going to do a lot to mitigate that. But we don't want to get offensive with our Navy, I think is the point you're making, because that probably wouldn't go in our favor. Now, is every setting with the Navy what it should be?
I'm just kind of grouping them up here on Kiel, and then when we actually combine them together, we'll assign them a commander and get all the proper repair rules and everything set up.
Okay, we want to make sure that the repair rules are
proper.
That has burnt me.
We have both been witness to a very horrible defeat in this exact mod because of the armies or the navies being automatically set to never go for repair,
which is a bit of a ridiculous set. I'm not gonna lie. If I could say only one thing critical about this mod, because I love it, I don't actually have a lot to say critical. Change that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it's an alpha, so we are going to go ahead and we're going to unpause the game. We're going to play on a lower speed and kind of talk about some of these little maneuvers we're doing, because that's very Loresworn to talk about the boots on the ground and
this is the climax too. Like after this conflict is over, the game more or less
pretty much. So, I mean, unless we need to go kick Russia's ass independently or something. But yeah, so we have Modal. He's got a full planning bonus. He's got armor. He's got motorized units. We've got him on aggressively executing battle plans. So that's going to be our template for the invasion. We're just going to go ahead and click on that, and we're going to let an hour or so tick by here. It looks like our Wallonian allies are rearranging themselves somewhat. Oh. It might be because they have not called the Netherlands in yet. That might be why that invasion is not taking place.
Hey, we'll take it.
They have not called the Netherlands in yet. Okay. Well,
we'll take it.
Operation Hold Back the French will be our the Great Crusade. Okay, now they call the Batavian Commune in. Right-wing circles have been calling for a crusade against the Commune of France ever since the Communards managed to oust legal French government from mainland France. Now their wishes have finally come true as a state of war exists between our glorious Fatherland and the nest of syndicalist vipers. After Kaiser Wilhelm II explained in a special radio address our reasons for Germany's involvement in another war with France and called for the eradication of the final obstacle to achieving our place in the sun. Also, Wilhelm II is dead. That would be Wilhelm III's radio address.
We can tell you how to fix that.
Yeah. Let's see. Following the example of the Kaiser's grandsons and civilians began gathering streets manifesting their support for war. After catastrophic crisis, the German nation is united once again. Long live Germany. Long live the Kaiser. 100 political power and 100,000 manpower. And then that event
Yeah.
Pops again. Okay.
Well, we still have almost enough political power to appoint some people to our cabinet, to our war council, which is good.
Okay, so it is the 4th of November, 1941. The offensive has been launched, and it is going well across the front here. I want to make sure that everyone is attacking into the province we would prefer them to be attacking into. That guy's headed to a different front. I think we'll take the 61st Infantry and see if we can't try to take this little spit of land near Rotterdam. We have 2 infantry divisions here. Okay, so that's is that a single province? If I could have one of you guys... I'd prefer if one of you guys would attack this empty province, but...
Apparently not.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's allowed. So, these guys are moving forward. It's funny to see that the
French haven't been
the Belgians are wearing like French uniforms, so that's going to be super confusing. This guy, see if you can catch that motorized division on the back foot. All right, so let's go ahead and let this tick forward a little bit. That assault is not going well, so we're going to prudently request them to fall back. We are taking some territory here up north.
We'll take it.
In Operation Phrygia, perhaps we could call it.
Heck yeah.
The ancient Frisian realm, which was once part of the Holy Roman Empire.
Socialist Republic of Italy.
Republic of Italy. Okay, so lucky enough for them, this doesn't actually cut them off because they can still retreat across the strait to Amsterdam. But if our armor can catch them here, and maybe this motorized division can tie up this guy so he can't retreat, we'll at least be able to encircle a couple of divisions. Unless this goes too well. I was going to say, that could have backfired if they had retreated first and been able to get across the strait.
Wow, okay, so we have accomplished what I would call the first breakthrough. How are things going in France?
Alright, so we've got an overrun. The French, they don't look like they've actually launched a battle plan yet.
That's glorious.
So Rommel might be able to have the initiative.
Here's the thing, too. Our Russian forces are still in transit, so literally every hour they delay is really, really awesome for us. We're about to get buku reinforcements, and they're dragging their heels. That's awesome.
Yes. So we are going to... this isn't a whole lot of divisions, but we are going to overrun them, it looks like. This guy, don't
get mauled, bro.
Yeah, that's 3-on-1 there. We're going to have reinforcements coming from the north soon. Let's check the air superiority map. We actually...
have rather decisive air superiority, it looks like. Isn't it?
I don't know why it's... Red usually means...
bad.
Bad, but it says that we have 0.0 versus... active enemy fighters.
It says we don't have a fighter wing there.
Oh, are they still in transit, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, our fighters might still be in transit.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all right.
Yeah,
that'll change rapidly.
Yeah. So the air situation is going to change drastically once we have our full forces.
Okay. So I would send that armor to reinforce down there.
Right. So let's have this infantry head up to shore up the strait.
Yes. Good stuff. Make sure we're still,
Yeah, gotta keep all of our research slots filled. Better recon, can't hurt.
Those
are the colonial air forces. Okay, the tanks are doing what I told them to. For a second I thought that they were derping out. Okay, why don't we just go ahead and raffle stomp this. Actually, you should stay here. So we've taken Eindhoven. Just keeping an eye. Okay, so the French are trying to push on Nancy, but they are not being successul.
Even
and
remotely.
we've achieved air superiority in Western Germany, so they're going to be fighting uphill battle. Actually, it looks like we have air superiority in northern France too, with only 200
and
planes.
and our Russian front
Yeah.
forces are almost there. Look at that.
Okay, so we can now combine our navy. We want to give it to Donitz. He's our best. We want repair priority high.
Absolutely. We can't spare ships.
Fire at will, and then we will put them on a patrol setting in the Baltic. Whoop. Patrol.
They are on patrol.
Oh, I'm already on patrol.
Yep. Probably the Eastern North.
Yeah, let's try to defend the Eastern North Sea.
Well, because they're going to want to probably come to help the Netherlands.
Yeah, so. I mean that's less territory we have to cover with our land orders. So I think with Donitz at the head, they can probably hold that pretty well. All right.
So now we have the Netherlands buckling, which is good.
Right. So here's what I'm going to do with these guys. Let's assign these guys to a separate front line here. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. Assign front line. Oh, okay. It exists. It's just so small that I can't see it. So...
Yep, there you go.
Assign them there. Everyone else, I want you guys to join the offensive in the south. And that should be more than enough to overwhelm the Netherlands.
Yeah, I think the Dutch are...
What is this battle?
Looks like the...
Flanders, Wallonia... Do they have paratroopers? They didn't take over the province, so I don't know why there's a fight going on here. It's like an exiled French unit fighting in our territory or something?
The French, it looks like, are not in danger of breaking through anywhere, which is good.
Okay, so these must be paratroopers.
And our Russian troops are here, essentially.
Yeah, they're being deployed. So they must be landed paratroopers or something,
which they're welcome to do. It's not going well for them.
Yeah. We have some free military factories. What are we running a deficit? Still infantry equipment. Did we add a second line of infantry equipment? I know we were planning to.
We should have.
Let's go ahead and add a second line of infantry equipment, because when war breaks out, you start losing infantry equipment quite quickly. Also making sure we are constructing everything we should be constructing. Okay.
The Dutch have utterly collapsed. That is what that is.
Yeah.
They are in headlong retreat. This is over.
I'm actually wondering if we can't get something like this going on.
Good call. Good call.
Pincer maneuver to cut off troops on the strait from regrouping with each other.
And we've just split the country in half?
They're actually putting the pressure on us, which is pretty admirable here. Let's pull some extra divisions, at least a couple armor divisions if we can, to crush this little pocket. And the Batavian Commune has capitulated.
That took 7 days, so that went well.
So Modal's group now is going to become a garrison army. They're going to be in charge of defending
the coast
from naval invasions, and actually probably only need to focus on that. So guard coastline, naval bases, and victory points. We don't really care about forts, airfields, or attempting to lower resistance.
There we go.
That will hopefully quash. Our Navy is defending this area and this area, so hopefully that will put a damper on any plans to take... I
wonder what our allies are doing in Middle Europa. They're holding firm, I guess.
Yeah, I mean...
They've got some dangerous frontage.
Based on the fact that we pulled all of our units off the Soviet front, I'm not expecting them to help us a whole lot in the offensive department.
No, they're protecting the rear.
Well, no, I don't want to draw a new order. Okay, so Rommel, his guys are arriving at the front.
Nice.
Got direct ground support. Which, by the way, we should pull most of our air wings out of the Benelux now. Air support mission efficiency.
I like that. I think that's better than ace.
Unless there's an industry thing, I think we're still ahead on all that. Yeah. So let's keep building up our Luftwaffe here. All right. Do we have unread naval battles? Okay, that's the Dutch Navy. They're going to be dead in about 10 minutes. Yeah, see, the tricky part with Rommel's offensive...
So we have no intelligence.
It's going to be, well, that and Pas de Calais, Dunkirk, and then Calais itself are all urban terrain, which means that they're going to be a little slower going for armor. We should really focus on getting a sweep up through these plains to surround those cities.
I would agree.
That is I believe that's part of our order of battle. But if not, we'll do it manually when everybody's set up. We just want to get all of his units at full organization and full planning bonus.
And the forces from the Soviet front are here, which is awesome. I don't think that the French will be able to do shit now.
Yeah, and it looks like they're still pulling some kind of shenanigans with Strasbourg, but their only division there died, so... I don't even know how they're able to land paratroopers when we have air superiority either, but I don't know. Could be a bug. We're not going to stress out about bugs. It's an alpha version of a mod. Alright, so Strasbourg's back under our control. We've got our line of supply. Unread naval battle results. We sunk a whole bunch of British submarines.
We like it.
So that's thanks to our carrier fleet, by the way. So the Brits are trying to do trade interdiction, which is smart of them, because if we can't get trade through the channel, we have to go, nowhere. There's no passage around.
But it's not working,
Siberia,
so that's good.
So the more of their submarines we sink, the better. Yeah. It's interesting that...
yes.
More air bases. Excellent.
So we need to figure what is the best... We're now at war. What is the best focus we want?
We can't get treaty with Ireland or mission to the Cossacks right now. So... We need... Well, we could continue down the rest of our air focus tree, or we could expand naval industry. I think are our two options right now. This will give us...
The Albatross Company.
Albatross. This will give us 50% research for air doctrine. Junkers, which are very good to have. So do we want to shore up a weakness, or do we want to play up a strength, I guess?
I think our strength is decisive enough that shoring up a weakness makes sense here. We already have overwhelming, air superiority.
Let's try to outdo the British Navy.